Gotham Knights is around the corner, and today I want to do a final coherent list of predictions. So let's just get into it. First off, I want to talk about how the Justice League and the Teen Titans do in fact exist. In the PC trailer for the game, we can see a little Easter egg that you may have missed. This is a photo of Robin and Superboy sitting at the desk of the Batcomputer in the Belfry. With Superboy existing in this universe, it leads me to believe that Superman also exists in this universe due to obvious reasons. So it wouldn't be out of the picture that the rest of the Titans and the Justice League are present in this universe in some way, shape or form. My predictions are that at the funeral of Bruce Wayne, we may see civilian identities of the Justice League and the Titans at the funeral, if there is a funeral. Next up, I want to talk about the League of Assassins, or, in general, the Al Ghul family. During early promotions of the game, on Batman Day specifically in 2019, it was teased that both the Court of Owls and the League of Assassins would have a presence. We know that Jason was revived in the Lazarus Pit as of now, but there have been more hints to a bigger presence in the game since. This theory was circulating at the start of the promotion, but quickly faded away due to the almost 8-month silence from the devs. Then, as promotion was ramping up again, we saw some sort of behind the scenes of Nightwing, and what seemed to be Talia al Ghul in motion capture suits. Mylene Dinrobic is labelled as Talia al Ghul on the Gotham Knights IMDb page. It may or may not be real, take it with a grain of salt, but this may also mean that Damian Wayne is alive in this universe to some degree due to the timing of when the game takes place in general DC continuity. Tim Drake and Damian were Robin almost around the same time, or Damian was around during the same time as Tim in the comics. So that leads me to believe that Damian may make an appearance as well. I now want to talk about DLC post-launch. Now, nothing has been officially confirmed by the devs about any sort of ongoing DLC post-launch, but my theory for this came from the announced comic book tie-in series called Gotham Knights Gilded City. This book is a prequel to the game that predominantly focuses on Batman on his last case before the game. I'm going to do a separate video talking about the comic book tie-in, so be waiting out for that. Within these books are codes for in-game items from transmog, colorways, and exclusive weapons, is what they've said. These items will be released post-launch of the game up until January to February-ish, around that time. So could this mean that we may or may not get DLC post-launch? I'm not too sure. There is a Q&A happening later in the month before the release, so hopefully we'll get an answer from there. Now to my final theory, and it's gonna get a little bit crazy, so stick with me on this. I want to talk about the circumstances of Batman's death, or Bruce Wayne's death, whichever way you want to see it. The character of Batman is no stranger to certain death, in all aspects of his appearances in most and every piece of media. It's really hard to believe that Batman may have been killed in the game.
Known to be the masked vigilante Batman, enter his home, refusing to come.
At the time, this was the only piece of information we had until the very first story trailer where we saw parts of the Batsuit scratched up and broken. This makes me believe that Bruce Wayne supposedly died as Batman, but someone then took his broken suit to leave the body in the wreckage. So this makes me think that during this time, Bruce Wayne's body was swapped at some point. Something similar happened to Jason Todd in the Under the Red Hood book, where the Al Ghul family swapped out his body to revive him.
All it took was a few payoffs to replace his body. I felt confident that you would not perform an autopsy. Even if you had, we still would have bought enough time. But I plan. Detective. It had unfortunate results.
But personally, I don't think Batman's dead. This character has been in worse situations before, and considering that his Robin is Tim Drake leads me to the belief that Batman has been working in Gotham for at least 6 and maybe more years. Around this time in continuity, most iterations, he's almost unkillable. With that experience, I find it very hard to believe that Batman, of all people, died in a building explosion. But yeah, that's it for me. I may or may not release more Gotham Knights news or videos, depending on what gets announced closer to the date. So, I will be doing a playthrough of the game. I've already made the thumbnails. It's going to go out day 1, so be watching out for that. And yeah, thank you all, and I'll see you all later.